Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, President Joe Biden could tighten asylum-seeking requirements, the latest on border policy this evening.
A Texas judge ruled school districts can restrict the length of male students' natural hair. Activists say this violates the Crown Act.
And DPS troopers seize 48 bundles of cocaine. The street value may shock you.
Hope you enjoy the late afternoon sunshine. It's a lovely evening now. The clouds have passed through, but you know, it's 76 degrees. It did get up to 80 today, and it's going to be like that for a while. We'll be talking more about your outlook for the weekend coming up in a moment.
And the Cobra Invitational saw many area golfers hit the golf course over at Riverside. I'll have some of those rankings coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
Victoria County Sheriff's deputies took custody of a suspect at the Harris County Jail. 44-year-old Paul Allen of Victoria arrested for violation of parole on a charge of assaulting a family member, impeding breath and circulation. Allen is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $40,000 bond. DPS troopers seized more than 133 pounds of cocaine at a traffic stop in Hidalgo County. The troopers discovered 48 plastic-wrapped bundles containing cocaine hidden inside the vehicle. The two people in the vehicle, 44-year-old Williams Garcia Granados and 17-year-old Williams Garcia Redondo, both of Reynosa, Mexico, were arrested, charged with manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance, a first-degree felony. The drugs have an estimated street value of $1.2 million.
In Wharton, one of the high school students involved in a 2022 campus cafeteria stabbing pleaded guilty. The El Campo Leader News reports 18-year-old Leroy Scarlett was charged with engaging in organized criminal activity for his actions on October 12th of 2022. Scarlett was given 4 years deferred probation, fined $500 in order to perform 250 hours of community service. Now, just before noon, a man lost control of his SUV and crashed through a fence on an electrical pole. It happened off the Cuero Highway exit on Zachlins Parkway. The man had to go to the hospital, and the Victoria Electrical Coupe will replace the damaged pole.
Around 1 p.m. today, Victoria Police responded to a call about aggressive dogs near Red River and Bend, Jordan. One of the dogs charged the officer and bit him on the leg. It's a minor injury. Animal Care Services issued 3 tickets to the owners of the dogs. The dog that bit the officer will go into quarantine as soon as possible. Officers had to use a taser on the dog that bit the officer. Luis Espandola is running for the GOP nomination for U.S. Representative District 27. Espandola, a veteran who served in Afghanistan, now is based in Corpus Christi. He is a high-threat security consultant. Espandola told us what is the biggest threat to our country's security.
It would be members from all over the world that are entering our country at an unprecedented rate, and we really have no idea of understanding and being able to catalog who is coming in and what capabilities they may or may not have.
Here are the other Republican candidates on the ballot in District 27. That is Michael Cloud, Chris Mapp, and Scott Mendel. The winner here will face the Democrat who wins the primary election on March 5th.
An earthquake hit Karnes County Thursday morning. The U.S. Geological Survey tells KSAT a 3.9 magnitude earthquake shook Falls City at 12:15 a.m. Falls City is 40 miles southeast of downtown San Antonio. No damage or injuries are reported. This is the 20th earthquake reported with a magnitude of 2.5 or higher in the last 30 days in that area. The largest earthquake of 4.7 hit last Saturday.
And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez, who can explain this earthquake phenomenon to us more in-depthly.
Happy to do that. You know, you need the Earth's crust moves around, but you need a fault line to have an earthquake. If you go to the University of Texas Geological Center, they will tell you that most of these earthquakes are caused by fracking. So they are induced by man's movement down below because, you know, you push in the water and then you take it out, and so you manipulate all of the limestone down there. So this is happening. So it's not LA, okay? We are looking at the sunny skies that are going to be on top of us for the next 7 days. In fact, temperatures hovering near 80 degrees for most of next week. We'll have all of that coming up in a moment.
Mac, thank you. No contested races are on the May 4th election ballot in Hallettsville. The Hallettsville Herald Tribune reports 2 bond issues are on the ballot. The Hallettsville City Council approved a $6 million bond vote on fixing declining streets in the city. The Hallettsville ISD Board also approved a bond vote for May 4th. The funeral for Audrey Cunningham was announced a week after the 11-year-old girl went missing. The funeral will be next Saturday at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Livingston. The Harris County Medical Examiner ruled that Audrey's primary cause of death was due to, quote, homicidal violence with blunt head trauma, unquote. Audrey's body was found in the Trinity River along U.S. Highway 59. Authorities say her body had been weighed down by a large rock tied to a rope. This kept Audrey hidden from view when the area was initially searched. Don McDougal has been charged in that murder. New developments regarding migrant crossings at the southern border. Although apprehensions at the border dipped in January, there are concerns that migrant encounters can surge again.
And now there's word President Biden could be ready to place new restrictions on asylum seekers.
President Biden considering what's being described as major new action on the southern border. An administration official telling ABC News the Biden administration is looking to potentially take executive action, making it harder to seek asylum. Under consideration, barring migrants from seeking asylum if they crossed into the U.S. illegally between U.S. ports of entry. Migrants would instead have to prove why they need to remain in the U.S. Acceptable reasons could include a medical emergency or fear of torture in their home country. The new action, if taken by the president, could put him at odds with his own party. Some Democrats compare the crackdown to Trump-era policies, but critics say the influx of migrants, which includes a growing number of people from China and other countries, poses a national security threat. In New York City, 170,000 migrants have gone through the system so far, some making headlines for their involvement in crimes, like the 8 males accused of attacking 2 NYPD officers in Times Square last month.
Our state needs the help. Our state needs the relief. We need the financial support. We need more protections at the border.
And in Texas, the Attorney General's office is suing to shut down Annunciation House in El Paso, a well-known Catholic volunteer organization that offers hospitality to migrants, immigrants, and refugees. Attorney General Ken Paxton accusing the nonprofit of human smuggling for providing transportation. The Attorney General claiming Annunciation House knows some are in the U.S. illegally. Annunciation House hasn't responded directly to that claim, but says it's helped hundreds of thousands of refugees over the last 4 decades, saying if the work that Annunciation House conducts is illegal, so too is the work of our local hospitals, schools, and food banks.
The White House is stressing no final decision has been made on any executive actions related to the border. But after House Republicans recently killed a bipartisan border security deal, the president is clearly looking to show he's trying to address this problem. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
Texas has spent over $148 million busing migrants to other parts of the country. The Texas Tribune reports since Governor Greg Abbott started the program in 2022, Texas has bused over 102,000 migrants to cities around the country. Texas has sent over 37,000 migrants to New York City alone since April 2022. The migrants were also bused to Chicago, Denver, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C.
A judge ruled that a Texas high school in the Houston area was not violating the state's Crown Act by punishing a black teen over the length of his dreadlocks. The case boiled down to whether the school district's length regulations were in violation of the Crown Act, which prohibits race-based hair discrimination at work, school, and in housing facilities in the state. The judge ruled that the Barbers Hill Independent School District's dress and grooming policies do not violate the Crown Act. Candace Matthews, the family spokesperson, says the trial left the young man with tears in his eyes.
Even with Daryl made this statement and told me this straight up with tears in his eyes. All because of my hair. I can't get my education because of my hair. I cannot be around other peers and enjoy my junior year because of my hair.
The school disciplined George, a junior, with in-school suspension since August. The family's attorney says she plans to appeal the decision. So here is your Veer poll. The question is, do you believe the judge's ruling aligns with the spirit of the Texas Crown Act? Yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 33% stand at yes, and the remaining 67% stand at no. We want to hear from you on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
AT&T says it has restored wireless coverage. An outage knocked out cell phone service on its network across the U.S. for hours. Dallas-based AT&T said it has service to all its affected customers now. Outages started early this morning and peaked at around 73,000 reported incidents. AT&T has more than 240 million subscribers, the country's largest. The Yoakum City Council approved taking $230,000 from the American Recovery Plan Act for expenses on street improvement projects. The Yoakum Herald-Times reports 11 streets in Yoakum desperately need improvement. The Yoakum City Council also fired City Manager William Lynn after just 2 months on the job. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can get Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. A woman in Memphis facing child abuse charges. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, the images that prompted the investigation.
Also ahead, Toyota issues recalls for pickups and SUVs. The details this evening. The parents of Gabby Petito reached an agreement with Brian Laundrie's parents to resolve a civil lawsuit. Petito's family released a statement saying all parties reluctantly agreed to the settlement to avoid further legal expenses and prolonged personal conflict. The lawsuit claims Brian Laundrie admitted to killing Gabby Petito to his parents before he returned home by himself from a trip the two were on. It also claims that by not coming forward during the search for Petito and Laundrie, that Laundrie's parents' great indifference to the rights of Petito's parents. A 30-year-old mother in Tennessee is facing child neglect charges over photos that show her 5-year-old daughter waxing her client's private areas.
Jasmine Moss was arrested after police received a series of complaints. They were reportedly uploaded to Moss's Instagram account, and they are way too graphic to show.
Rose informed me that Blake Ballin will be your attorney.
30-year-old licensed esthetician Jasmine Moss appeared in court Wednesday after being charged with child neglect for letting her 5-year-old daughter wax 24 clients and then posting pictures online.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
After court, attorney Blake Ballin, who's representing Moss, said this is an unusual case, especially the charges Moss is facing.
Child abuse and neglect usually requires some sort of physical harm, physical injury, and it remains to be seen if they can prove something like that.
Action News 5 went by Glenbrook Street in Westwood, where Jasmine Moss reportedly runs the hair removal business Jazzy Body LLC out of a home. A woman closed and locked the door in our face. The Better Business Bureau had no record of the company until a complaint came on February 15th. A woman who claims to be Jasmine's mother said the controversy has sparked stress and threats.
People calling him, talking, threatening people. What you think I'm supposed to be? I'm her mom.
The post has sparked so much attention, Memphis police launched a joint investigation with the Department of Children's Services. In a statement, the agency said, quote, "We can confirm that an investigation has commenced in this case. Pursuant to state and federal laws, we are unable to provide specifics about cases involving children and families we serve," end quote. Attorney Bowlen says the next court hearing, they hope to have something sorted out.
We'll let the judge know if we are able to come up with some kind of resolution or if we need to have a preliminary hearing where the witnesses will have to come testify.
The world's largest automaker has issued recalls for 280,000 of its pickup trucks and SUVs. In some Toyota Tundras and Sequoias, the engine does not always fully disengage while in neutral, which can cause a vehicle to creep forward. There's a second and smaller recall for Toyota's electric Mirai and certain Lexus LX 600 models. That involves a software issue. The third recall is for a few thousand Toyota Camry and Camry hybrids over concerns with the head restraints on the rear fold-down seats.
It's been 30 years since the cost of food ate up this much of your paycheck. American consumers are now spending 11.3% of their disposable income on food. Latest U.S. data available says that hasn't happened since President George H.W. Bush was in office. Eating continues to cost more, whether that be in restaurants, takeout, or at home. Prices at dining establishments jumped more than 5% last month compared to January. Economists believe that food prices are not likely to stabilize anytime soon.
Well, good evening, everybody. We mentioned it a while ago. This is a map that's in real time at the University of Texas called TexNet. And it shows you all of the little earthquakes that are being reported. This is, of course, Falls City. There's the county line. There's the last two. These were the ones that measured in at 4. So go to TexNet in geology, the geology department, and they'll tell you everything that's happening over the state, because they'll tell you it's mostly likely caused by underground fracking. Anyway, so beautiful day, would you say? Lots of sunshine. Got up to 80 degrees this afternoon. Right now we're at 76. Can you believe that? We are looking at temperatures. 81 was our official high. We're talking about 80-degree temperatures for the next 7 days. We'll have all of that coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. If you love 80-degree temperatures and you like wearing short pants, you're going to have a great time for the next week, maybe for the next few months, as a matter of fact. You can see how sunshine broke out. I mean, we did have a high-level clouds that rolled in. That actually limited our fog this morning, but that actually pulled away. And so now we had a really nice sundown, and we're looking for abundant sunshine because the north wind's coming in, and that's really going to continue this dry, sunny pattern for us right on through the weekend. There's that cloud deck that pulled away. So by and large, with the south winds right now, we're on the humid side, but all this is going to change. In fact, The winds north of San Antonio are already blowing northwest. That'll be blowing down into our area over by tomorrow morning for sure. Here are the high temperatures next 7 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. If you don't have plans, I would make plans to be outdoors. I don't, just even a picnic lunch under a nice tree would be good. Looking at low temperatures tonight, about 58 to 60 degrees. And then tomorrow, while the coastal areas will stay low 70s, many of the inland areas will be pushing upper 70s to near, well, no, mid 70s tomorrow because of the north wind. Then by the time we get to next week, it will really be starting to warm up. So here's our little front. It's just in the hill country. It'll be dropping south overnight, and we'll have a north wind tomorrow, lower humidities, but I hardly think you'll feel the 6-degree temperature drop that we're going to get. And then high pressure builds in, gives us a couple of really nice days. And then middle of next week, you're going to go, hey, it's getting a little warm here. And yes, it is. And as a matter of fact, a high pressure will give us a lot of sunshine if you got outdoor plans. Great. Now, as we get to the end of next week, 7 days from now, we are going to get this frontal system. And you can see we're talking Tuesday of next week here. That front will get down here probably Thursday night and move through. Now this one coming from the north will be a little bit colder, so we'll watch and wait to see how that temperature evolves, because it may be a little bit of a chill, but I doubt that it'll get us down to the low 60s or anything like that. It'll be another dry line coming in. Fishing's going to be terrific for the next couple of days. I just want you to know that tomorrow the winds are going to be out of the north, okay? Not, as normal out of the south. Probably 10 to 15, maybe a gust up to 20, but no major wind problems. Waves are running 2 to 4 feet. Bay waters are going to be choppy because of the switching of the wind. So there's a forecast for Port Lavaca. Sunny, 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 sunny all day long. Northerly winds, temperatures mid 70s because of that north wind. And then in Cuero, sunny, sunny, sunny all day long. North wind and getting up to about 76. So what I'm telling you here is spring has sprung. Okay, I don't see, if that next front doesn't get us a chill, and I don't think it will, then we can say goodbye to winter time. So we're looking for tomorrow morning for that northeast wind, getting up to 77 by Sunday, and then 80 degrees early part of next week. We'll watch and wait to see what happens to that front next Thursday, about 7 days from now. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Mac. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
We have a Victoria East Titan committing to play football and the Cobra Invitational Golf Rankings. I'll have those in sports. Over at the Riverside Golf Course, we had the Cobra Invitational. We got to see lots of surrounding schools in the Crossroads compete on the girls' side. Finishing at number 1, the Shiner Comanche shooting a combined 402 on the afternoon, followed very closely by Industrial, who shot a 409. Goliad comes in at 3rd with a 455, followed by Yoakum's 477. The rest of the teams, that would be Calhoun at 5, then Cuero, and then the Tidehaven Tigers. As for the player rankings, Shiner's Chelsea Whitten finishes first, shooting a 92. Industrial's Pacey Ava Rowe right behind her, shooting a 93. And right behind her, another Comanche, Bree Sofka, at 94. Industrial had 5 golfers in the top 10. Those were the girls' rankings. The boys also stepped out on the golf course and was the Hallettsville guys taking first place. The Industrial Cobras finished second in this one as well, followed right up by their Lavaca River rival, the Edna Cowboys, at number 3. Rounding out the top 5, Palacios and Cuero. For the player rankings, Jake Alexander representing Industrial, who put this tournament on, followed by a pair of Hallettsville Brahmas and Bradley Copley and Lane Gerke. Gerke, by the way, just signed to play football for the Aggies. At number 4, we had Cuero's Tyler Grogan, and rounding out the top 5, Edna's Austin Summerfield. The boys heading to the area round of the postseason out on the hardwood, and Edna, well, they now know where their game is going to be played. It will take place in Seguin tomorrow at 8 p.m. against the Lytle Pirates. Edna will be the home team for this game, as they did have the 1 seed coming out of that tough district. Their rival, the Goliad Tigers, the by-district champs as well. They will get Rio Hondo tomorrow. That game will be at Alice High School, and it will have a 6 p.m. tip-off. The Shiner girls, they're in the semifinals. They get the San Saba Armadillos. That game at 6 p.m. in Buda, Texas. These two teams do have a common opponent, that being Johnson City. Shiner beat Johnson City 42-37. San Saba beat them 42-27. So if that score indicates anything at all, we could have a good game on our hands. We have another Victoria East Titan committing to play football at the next level. Earlier this afternoon, Bryson Ortega announcing on his Twitter that he will be attending East Texas Baptist University. During his varsity career, Ortega was a two-way star, tallying over 1,000 yards to go along with 10 touchdowns during his varsity days. He also rushed for 74 yards on the year as well. On the defensive side, he had nearly 50 tackles to go along with 2 interceptions. All right, that is it for your sports. Donna Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. We're back in a moment. Guinness World Record revoked the title of the world's oldest dog. It awarded to a Portuguese canine who died last year.
Tonight, Guinness World Records revoked the title of the world's oldest dog. It awarded to a now deceased Portuguese canine named Bobby last year. It found no conclusive evidence that he had in fact lived for more than 30 years. The record title was issued last February when it said Bobby was 30 years and 243 days old. Bobby died last October. Microchip data from the official Portuguese database had been central to Bobby's evidence. But it turned out the chipping did not require proof of age for dogs born before 2008. So Bobby may not have been 30. He may have been,
20?
14, 15. Yeah, because they didn't have the full chip data there in Portugal for the age of dogs.
And he didn't have his birth certificate with him either.
Doggone it. That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Dogs would love this weather.
well,
to walk with dogs in this kind of weather.
Sure. Oh my gosh. And in the morning when you're going to be walking your dog, or even this evening, I certainly encourage it. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Now, while we have a little moisture out there today, tomorrow it's going to be a north wind and it's going to be dry, beautiful, lots of sunshine for the weekend. I would definitely plan on being outdoors this weekend. And as I mentioned, everybody at the HEB was wearing shorts today.
Oh, wow.
Kind of weird.
maybe they had a case of shorts there at the HEB. I don't know. All right, Mag, thank you, and thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.